I want to welcome you here tonight, and we're just a couple of minutes away from beginning our meeting. Before we start, I'll invite you to stand and join me in the pledge, and then Mike Overton will bring the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, we thank you for another wonderful day and the refreshing rain that you brought that nourishes our land just as you nourish us with your forgiveness and grace. Be with us as we appreciate our life-supporting community, particularly our law enforcement officers, and be with us tonight as we deliberate and provide the best possible decisions we can make for all of our citizens. In your name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mike. All right. I'd like to again welcome you to tonight's regular meeting of the Springdale City Council. This is Tuesday, August 11th, 2020. And we will begin by, well, first of all, let me mention, do we have large print agendas over there somewhere? Wyman's got them there on the corner of the table. If anyone in the room would benefit from that, feel free to get one. That said, I'm going to ask our city clerk to call the roll.
Mayor Sprouse.
Here.
Amelia Williams.
Here.
Jeff Watson.
Here.
Mike Overton.
Here.
Jim Reed. Mike Lawson.
Here.
Rick Evans. Brian Powell. Kathy Jaycox. Ernest Kate.
Here.
All right, thank you. We are at item 4 on the agenda. We always, about the first thing we do after our roll call is offer time for comments from our citizens. If we have anyone that would like to address the council concerning an item that's not on tonight's agenda, we ask that you come to the microphone, clearly state your name and address. Please keep your comments brief and understand that we won't take action on anything you have to bring before us tonight. Is there anyone in the room that would like to address the council concerning an item that is not already on tonight's agenda? Sure.
Thank you, Mayor. Joe Brooks, Springdale. I'd like to thank all of y'all, council members, staff. I think we're on the verge of a historic day and night, and I believe we're going to have a very good turnout in this election up in Bethel Heights, and by tomorrow, that's the good news. I think the realistic news is you as a body, we're going to find out a lot of the problems up there are a lot worse than anybody imagined. So you're going to have a lot of challenges. I was fortunate. I got invited to speak to 3 homeowners associations at the last minute Sunday night, and it was amazing, people, the lack of information. So there's a lot of good people up there, but they're not used to openness and transparency. So I'd like to encourage all of y'all, once we get all this done, to where you demonstrate and show them how government is supposed to operate. And I hope we can have some public hearings and some feedback back and forth with citizens like you all do here. And I thank you for everything, and I think things are looking good.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. Anyone else? All right. We'll move on then to item 5, the approval of minutes. Council, you've had an opportunity to look those over. If there are no changes or additions, I'd entertain a motion to approve them as presented. We have a motion and a second. Well, it's not supposed to, Jim. No, sorry. Try it now. Try it now. Is it on? There's a switch, I think. Okay, maybe not. Luis will come down and take care of you. He's on his way down now. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, thank you. Procedural motions, there is a change from what's on your agenda. Item option B, where it says 9A and B, 10 and 13, that needs to be 10A and B, 11 and 14. Okay? That's 10A and B, 11.
I think we ought to do 11 by itself. I'll move to suspend the rules on number 11, if that's okay.
Okay, we didn't know how y'all would want to do that. We can still deal with that however we want to deal with it. So the procedural motions, I'd entertain a motion to approve the procedural motions A and B with B amended to 10, A and B, and 14.
Make the motion, Jeff? Did you make the
Yeah,
motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Okay, roll call, please.
Williams,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans, Powell,
Yes.
Jaycox.
Yes.
Carries 8-0 with the exception of number 11 on B,
Right.
which is on second reading.
Right. Okay. Item 7, and this is a resolution we added to the packet today. Everyone, I'm sure, has had an opportunity to look at it, and we sent it out publicly. I'm going to go ahead and read it, and then we can talk about it and what brought about the need for it. It's a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds associated with the consolidation of the city of Bethel Heights into the city of Springdale. As we all know, and as Joe mentioned during the comments from citizens, we all know there's an election going on right now. I think polls close at 7:30. We certainly don't know how it's going to turn out, but in the event that the consolidation is approved by both residents of Springdale and Bethel Heights, we felt, and Ernest worked with us on this, that we probably would be a good idea to pass a resolution tonight that would give the city of Springdale the authority. I mean, we're dealing with probably a period of 10 days between tonight and the certification. We don't know, honestly, how the current Bethel Heights city government is going to respond to a vote tonight. And we just needed some options in case we needed to pay their workers, in case we needed to, because there will be some things that need to continue to go on. There will be mowing and other things that need to continue to go on. And so we felt like this resolution, I needed this to give us authority to if we needed to make any expenditures. We don't know how long it will take to access the assets, the bank accounts that Bethel Heights currently has, and we just needed some way to help us through this transition. We may or may not need it, but I thought it was wise to present the resolution and get your approval of it, just in case we need to do anything in the next 10 days that would call for me to spend money that I can't spend if there's no budget. So I need to. That's the resolution, and you've got it before you there where you can read the whole thing, but I have read the title.
Resolution be approved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Any other comments or questions? Is there anyone on the phone? Okay, no one? All right, hearing no comments, we have a motion's been properly seconded, and I'll ask Denise to call the roll.
Mayor,
Yes,
just one quick question.
okay?
Is there a dollar figure associated with this resolution?
No. We didn't know what to put. I mean,
Is there a limit on what we can expect?
we're not going to spend anything beyond what we know they can cover. I'll say that. I mean, and it wouldn't be anything beyond their normal returning services to their residents for this period of time. It's basically just to keep their workers working in this interim when we can't
Which I do appreciate.
make any other moves, but if they work for this next 10 days, they need to get paid. And that may happen anyway, we just don't know. We don't know how the city of Bethel Heights is going to respond to whatever this vote is, especially if it's approved. So just asking for that permission. And any expenditures will be separated, any expenditures through this transition will be separated out that are spent returning services to Bethel Heights, so that those can be reimbursed, if necessary, from Bethel Heights assets, from their accounts.
Thank you.
Okay? Till they're officially part of the city of Springfield. Right. Did I explain all that pretty well, Ernest? Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right, Denise?
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans, Powell, Jaycox,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carries 8-0.
All right, thank you. Item 8 is something we do quite often now. It's we do, for those at home or not aware of this rule that the council has in place. Any invoice, payment of any invoice that exceeds $1 million requires approval of the council. This item 8 is a resolution authorizing payment of an invoice for project number 18BPC1, Springdale Municipal Campus from Milestone Construction, LLC, in the amount of $1,290,488.77.
Move the resolution pass.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comment or questions? All right, Denise?
Overton,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans, Powell, Jaycox,
Yes.
Williams, Watson,
Carries 8-0.
All right, item 9 is everything I just said, just different project and different invoice. A resolution authorizing payment of an invoice for project number 18BPP2, Randall Tyson Park Improvements from Flintco LLC, in the amount of $1,835,744.72.
Move the resolution pass.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? All right, Denise?
Reed,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans, Powell, Jaycox,
Yes.
Williams, Watson, Overton,
Carries 8-0.
All right, thank you. Item 10, Planning Commission report and recommendations by Patsy Christie, Director of Planning and Community Development. Patsy?
The first item is an ordinance accepting a final plat of Phase 1B of Haberton Ridge subdivision. Planning Commission reviewed this final plat. I think the improvements are at the stage they are so that they can move forward with final plat approval. Title of the ordinance reads, an ordinance accepting the final plat of Phase 1B of Haberton Ridge subdivision to the city of Springville, Arkansas, and declaring an emergency.
I'll move the ordinance pass.
Second.
Okay, got your microphone working, didn't we? All right, motion and a second. Any further comments or questions on this item? Anyone in the room need to speak to this? Any callers? No? All right, Denise?
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans, Powell, Jaycox,
Yes.
Williams, Watson, Overton, Reed,
Yes. Move the emergency clause pass.
Second.
Evans, Powell, Jaycox,
Yes.
Williams, Watson, Overton,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Both the ordinance and emergency clause carry 8-0.
And as usual, the emergency clause is included because there's pending action on these two properties. The next one is a replat of lots 74 through 78 of Haberton Ridge Phase 1A. Basically, this is a replat to move the location of the trail access between lots. Planning Commission reviewed this replat and recommends approval. The title of the ordinance reads, an ordinance accepting the replat of lots 74 through 78 of Haberton Ridge Phase 1A subdivision, a residential subdivision to the city of Springville, Arkansas, and declaring an emergency.
I'll move the ordinance pass.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any other comments or questions? Anyone? No? All right, Denise?
Powell, Jaycox?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Watson? Overton? Reed?
Yes.
Lawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Evans?
Move the emergency clause pass.
Second.
Jaycox?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Overton?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Lawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Evans? Powell?
Both the ordinance emergency clause carry 8-0.
All right, thank you. Item 11, Ordinance Committee, Chairman Mike Overton. Mike?
Yes, Mayor, we have an ordinance that was placed on its first reading at the last council meeting, and it's an ordinance establishing an entertainment district being known as the Downtown Springdale Outdoor Dining District, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
That the rules be suspended and the ordinance be placed on its third and final reading by title only.
Second, but it has been amended. Is that, do we have to mention that?
By title only?
No, that it has been amended from the first reading. It reads differently than the one we did on the first reading.
That could come up during the discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is that a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to place the ordinance on its third and final reading. Denise?
Williams?
Oh, sorry, Jeff?
No, that's,
Okay.
Williams?
Yes, this is just for the third reading, right? Yes, that's right.
Watson?
yes.
Overton?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Lawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Evans? Powell? Jaycox?
Yes.
Carries 8-0.
An ordinance establishing an entertainment district to be known as the Downtown Springdale Outdoor Dining District, declared an emergency and for other purposes.
I'll move the ordinance pass.
Second. Okay, we have a motion to approve the ordinance and a second.
I have a,
We will open up for discussion now. Yeah, so motion and a second. Anyone, any further discussion by the council?
I just had some clarification. I noticed that after our discussion the other day, if Jill would like to come up to the podium, I know we had discussed changing the times from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily to something different. Are you still wanting to do that?
Yes, that is what I sent to Ernest and the council. I think it's in your packets. There's an option A and an option B. The options are 3 to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and Friday through Saturday, 10 to 10. The second option is Sunday through Thursday, 11 to 10, and Friday and Saturday, 10 to 10. The downtown businesses would prefer the Sunday through Thursday, 11 to 10, because that would include the lunch hour for them and in the early part of the afternoon for cyclists that are coming through on the Greenway, and it would just be a more economically stimulating for the businesses for that longer hour range. But
And what was the Friday, Saturday time on that?
10 to 10 on both of them.
How many establishments have alcohol licenses now in the district?
I believe there are 5, but the retail businesses also feel like it, and the restaurants that don't have an alcohol permit or alcohol license feel like it will be beneficial to their businesses as well.
Do we have any idea what kind of sales volume we currently get through alcohol?
I don't have that information, but we are planning to monitor how many drink sales they have with the number of cups that they use. So we'll have a metric for you. We'll have a better idea of metrics in 6 months for you.
Do you have any idea what kind of percentage increase you're anticipating in those sales?
It's because of the fact that we've been in pandemic this year, it's just really difficult to, it would just be a guess. They would all be really ecstatic to have a 20 or 30% increase in sales from what they've been having in the current times, but we have such fresh data around all that we're going through right now, it would be hard to predict that.
Jill, the plan would still be to come back after the first of the year, early in 2021, and give us a report?
Yes, Mayor. We will
How?
come back at the 6-month mark and give you guys a full report. We'll have metrics on everything from trash, safety, sales, economic impact, all of those factors that we talked about. We'll come back, we'll give a full report, and we'll make any recommendations that we feel would make the ordinance better for Springdale.
Just, and also just so everyone will know, our police chief and our police department have indicated that if they see a problem before then, they'll certainly let me know, and we can address that however we need to if something happens before then. But if not, I'm sure we can get a full report from them as well, as far as if there's been any issues that we've needed to address.
Correct.
Okay.
So, Jill, are you asking to amend the ordinance to either of those times? So 10 to 10 is not what you're
I would-
proposing now?
The reason, I'm giving you a little background here, we put 10 to 10 in the ordinance because we just wanted to keep things as simple as possible. We're not hung up on not amending those times. Having those times pretty close to the same made it easier for businesses to know, when it was open and when it was closed. But there was a lot of conversation from council that you guys wanted to adjust those times. If you want to adjust those, I just made these suggestions for you to consider if that's what you wanted to do, and simplify it to an A or B choice. But we can
so
leave it
B-
like it is, or you can decide to amend the ordinance, whichever you
B,
prefer.
Your proposal on B is 11 to 10?
11 to 10. So it's just taking off that 10 o'clock hour, so it's a little bit later
During the week.
for the Sunday through Thursday.
Then 10 to 10.
10 to 10 on the Friday, Saturday.
And so to address your point of simplicity, do you really think from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock on a weekend is going to make that big of a difference? Why not just keep it 11 to 10 on every day?
That's perfectly fine.
I mean, how many people are drinking between 10 and 11 anyway?
Well, right now, not very many, so it's not going to make an impact the first 6 months. If a business wants to come in and do brunch, then that might impact their business some, but it wouldn't affect anything right now, and if that's what you guys want to do, we fully
Always look
support,
at it
we
later.
fully support that. If you wanted to do 11 to 10.
Every day.
Sunday, yes, that would be simple. It's the same every day. That's great.
And that's something we could also adjust anytime if
That'd
it
be my
gets to be a
proposal,
problem.
to make that amendment, so that we need to, how do we address an amendment?
Well, the way I see it, I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but I think that if the council can come to an agreement as to any of the proposed amendments, anybody can make a motion, but I see three distinct issues, one being the Section 2A that currently reads 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. From what I'm hearing from Mr. Watson is perhaps he wants to make a motion to amend that from to 11 to 10 daily as opposed to 10 to 10 daily. The other perhaps change to the ordinance would be the third whereas paragraph where it says create a permanent designated entertainment district. The word permanent will be deleted, and it would say designated entertainment district with a 6-month observation period. And then the third thing would be the way that it is written now, the emergency clause says it's effective August 1st, and obviously that come and gone. So y'all could do those in separate amendments, if you can agree on all three of those together, however you want to do it. But we would need to vote on any potential amendments before we vote on the ordinance proper.
Jill, I had another question. In our discussion, and we had talked about extending the hours later, is that not something that the businesses downtown were interested in doing
Past
For
10 p.m.?
on Friday and Saturday?
I would recommend to council, let's try this for 6 months before we try later hours and measure if we feel like that would be beneficial to downtown to extend it past 10. There really aren't any other businesses besides the bars that are open at that time of the evening. And so I just don't think it's conducive to, and I've talked to some board members about this, we just don't feel like it's conducive to what our primary goals are for the outdoor dining district. But that may be one of the recommendations that we bring back in 6 months.
Okay.
Jill, I appreciate you amending this and writing that, took out permanent and put in for a 6-month observation period. That lets the public know that we're really wanting to try to help Springdale, but we're also wanting to make sure we do it the right way. And I really appreciate that, because a lot of people were scared that, hey, this is a permanent deal. It's never going to go away, which is not the truth.
Right.
And, but I appreciate you putting that in there. And changing the time, I know you and I had talked, and I was more of a 5:30 to 10 guy on a Monday through Thursday. And I still am that way, but I appreciate you throwing in an amendment to, for 3 to 10. As time's starting to change, people are, kids going back to school, lifestyles are changing to get that back. I'm still a proponent for the 5:30 to 10 time period, Monday through Thursday. And some people that I've talked to are still not for this ordinance, but the others that I've talked to about having the amendment the way that it was written are more able to accept it, and are encouraged that there's going to be a trial period to where we can adjust if needed. I don't think any of us see that there's going to be a problem, but there's always, there could be. And like the mayor said, we're going to observe this, and I know y'all will too, and the business owners will too, and I think that they're taking this very seriously also. So I appreciate the amendment here. Again, I would like her to be 5:30 to 10, but I could live with the 3 to 10 on a Monday through Thursday.
I agree with you, Brian. I like option A. Option A. I mean, to start out, and I think at the end of 6 months, if we see how well things are going, I think we can adjust that time earlier and later.
Based on the amount of emails and phone calls I suspect all of us got, I had many that changed their minds, and they would probably be more comfortable with the 11 to 10 rather than the 3 to whatever you just proposed, Brian and Amelia. I mean, I can't tell you the number of people I answered emails, answered phone calls, and I appreciated every single one of their ideas, their encouragement. They were certainly encouraged by the change in the ordinance itself from the language from permanent to an observation time. So I'm comfortable with that as a first step to allow people to also have a lunch opportunity, people that are on the trails in the afternoon. It's just a positive things for those businesses that we're trying to help, plus encourage people downtown, which is really the purpose of what we've been doing with all of the park renovations, the revitalization. It's bringing people downtown and realizing what Springdale has to offer, which they haven't seen before, because they really haven't spent much time downtown. So more business, more shopping, more chances to eat, more chances to be with your family and your friends, just enjoying each other. I think I'm really encouraged by this as a kind of a pilot project to see how this works for this downtown that we've worked so hard to encourage people and highlight what an amazing community we are. So,
Do you think maybe the Sunday through Thursday, the 3 p.m. to 10 p.m., what if we did Monday through Thursday, most of the work week, 3 p.m., 10 p.m., did Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.? That way, during the work week, most people aren't going to be drinking on their lunch breaks anyway. That's just a thought. And it would really kind of help the people that are against the ordinance. The ones that I see that have come to me who are against it are really stuck on the time. What do you think about that? About the changing the day?
The business owners that have contacted me personally that have places in downtown prefer the continuity. It's easier to just have a single time frame to work with. And there are people that do business lunches and that have clients in. I don't anticipate, we all seem to think that, and we're most concerned, I know the people I talk to, that we're going to turn this into some sort of a speakeasy kind of community. And that's not the intention of this at all.
Sure.
It might be beneficial, I mean, if we're playing with hours here, it might be beneficial to hear from some of the business owners, Mr. Chairman, if that's all right with you. I think, if any of them, do y'all have some opinions on the hours? And, I mean, well, come on up. I mean, it seems like we're going back and forth between starting later in the afternoon or starting at 11 o'clock in the morning, so.
Right. I'm Jeff Brown. I own the Odd Soul.
You can take that, or speak right into that microphone for sure.
There you go.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sorry. I'm Jeff Brown. I own the Odd Soul. We have been all but closed for 6 months. As far as what kind of increase percentage-wise we would see with this, in my case, about 175 at a guess. We're losing money. And there are a lot of businesses who have hinged hours and hope on making downtown Springdale work again. I grew up here. I watched Emma Avenue slowly die for 2 decades and 3. And there are people other than myself trying really hard. There's a business next door to my place that opened in February. They had 3 weeks of business. And they could open. It's just there's nobody coming downtown right now. There are very significantly diminished numbers of people coming downtown. I'm one who would go for a continuity of hours. If you want to back up to 11 o'clock, if that helps, fine. I don't see any need to go later than 10 o'clock. As a bar owner, by 10 o'clock, I'm looking for things to start slowing down. I don't want to encourage people hanging out and drinking more later than that because I'm responsible for it. But I do feel this is a highly beneficial move. Heard from someone today, I haven't had a chance to do the research myself. Apparently Fort Smith has passed something like this. I'd like to not be left behind by Fort Smith. I don't know how y'all feel. But I really do endorse this, and I ask that you can kind of throw us a bone, as some of us business people. We need the help. We need a way to find a way to make things work slightly differently than we have been. We went from being a beer parlor to a delivery pizza service in about 5 days. We had pizza anyways. We've been doing it for a year. But all of a sudden it was the only thing we could do. And I've got a utility truck with a ladder rack on it, and I was delivering pizzas on Sunday nights, but I'm willing to. And this is just another way to try to kind of investigate what else might work. And if you give us this opportunity, I feel 6 months is a good argumentative kind of time period to investigate and see what works, what doesn't work, how we can amend things so that it works better for everyone.
What time does your establishment start serving your lunch?
I don't remember. 10 or 11 in the morning, except on Mondays we don't open till 5. We're open until 10 o'clock till Thursday nights. We're open till midnight on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We are allowed to be open till 1 a.m.
But your lunch
We have
rush
a lunch crowd.
starts about 11 o'clock?
Yes. Yep, absolutely. And really it's genuinely a lunch crowd concern. I don't foresee that we're going to sell that much beer or alcohol around lunchtime, but there are definitely people who would come and get lunch and happily eat it outside, particularly going into the fall with Turnbow Park right there accessible. We have very little patio space at the Odd Soul. Black Apple, Bucks have better outside space than we do. But just to give people the option, because there's a lot of folks who still don't want to come inside and sit down and eat, and that's fine. I'm not going to discourage that. But this would allow them to still get lunch, to still patronize businesses downtown, and be further away with it.
One other question for you. What other businesses, about what time do they open? And I have a ton of positive, and I am for this, but I also, on the negative side, my constituents that have come forward, You know, they want there to be some sort of time in which they can come downtown where there's not an open alcohol policy.
Right.
So I was trying to figure out, is there any
As far as I'm aware,
time?
most of them open at 9. I think Pruden opens possibly at 8. Law offices, Kevin, what, any guess? 8? 8 o'clock. So there would definitely be some hours in the morning before this would go into effect.
Anybody else? Comments?
I'd like to make a motion to amend. What's the appropriate date for amending the emergency clause? Tomorrow?
You could make it effective immediately. You could make it effective in 30 days if you don't pass an emergency clause.
So I'd like to make a motion to amend it with those 3 changes. First change being change of the times from 11 o'clock a.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. on every day. First change I second change would be to move the term permanent that Ernest mentioned. And the third would be to modify or amend the emergency clause to make it effective immediately instead of
Okay. Second. Have a motion and a second. Everybody understand? Brent, you're welcome to make a comment.
Y'all are welcome. All that sounded great, so you can do that first, and then we can talk about the overall thing if you want to. I don't care, whatever you want to do. You tell me.
Well, I think you're making the motion that
amendment.
you're making the amendment, and we've got a motion and a second for amendment. So if there are no other comments, we'll go ahead and vote on the amendment.
What's the day, Jeff?
It would be immediate.
Effective immediately.
Immediately?
Then if the amendment passes, then it still has to take up the.
Then we still have to take up the ordinance. Yeah. Okay.
Mayor, on the amendment?
Sure, Kent.
I think that timing makes the most sense. There'll be people from out of town and other folks who will want to come down here during the lunch hour. And consistency, I think that makes the most sense.
Right. Thank you, Kent.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone, Luis, on the phone? They wouldn't probably be commenting on the amendment anyway. Go ahead, Denise.
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes on the amendments.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans, Powell,
Yes.
Jaycox,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Amendment carries 8-0.
All right. Mr. Chairman, or go ahead, Brent.
Yeah, I mean, I was here a couple weeks ago, and again, just kind of wanted to voice my support in favor of this. I've reached out to a handful of y'all and heard back, and appreciate that as well. But kind of like Jeffro said, you know, a lot of businesses have invested in this downtown area and bought in to this master dream plan of how awesome it's going to be, and we're seeing a lot of really cool progress towards that. And, you know, there's been businesses down here like Shelby Lynn's that have been here before there was anything. And with downtown, the way they're designed, meant to be a walkable experience for people, someone that goes into the Odd Soul, if they're allowed to take that drink out, they're going to experience deletive ills that they may not have experienced, or they may get over and walk into Shelby Lynn's and have the best pedophore they've ever had. So I think what we'll see with this is not any of these problems we're talking about, but I think we'll see couples and families shopping together and carrying a nice glass of wine or a small margarita around with them and enjoying the out of doors and the beautifulness that is downtown Springdale. I mean, how much money do we spend on the beautiful landscaping that is down Emma? And so let's draw people there. And I think anything we can do right now to encourage people to the downtown area is only going to serve to better the city. That's such a great area that we have down here, and those of us that have chosen to kind of make this our home really appreciate y'all considering this. I think the 11 o'clock works fine. I don't think it hurts the brunch crowd. If you go somewhere for brunch, you show up at 10, you're going to be there an hour anyway. So I don't think that's a problem. I love the idea of the consistency. The last thing that we need as restaurant owners right now is one more thing to police. And so that That makes it, I think, a lot more clear for the citizens, makes the signage that we need a lot more easy to understand. So again, appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to us, and look forward to walking down the street with a margarita with y'all. So thanks.
Thanks, Brent.
Do we have any idea if there's any other things that are going to be coming to the downtown area that are more family friendly? Is there anything in the plans for that, for downtown? Anybody?
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I don't
like-
think we're going to want to announce any businesses, even if we do know
Well, if
something.
like, maybe Luther George Park, ACO, can we, is there a plan to kind of bring, not just one sector, but
Well, the master plan
addresses
the
Patsy, Patsy, would you come to the microphone, please? I'm sorry.
I just
The
want-
short answer, if I understand what you're asking, while Patsy's coming, the short answer to me is that the market drives that.
Sure. I just want a good answer for when those that want that have called and opposed this. And again, I am not opposed to it at all. I'm 100% for it. But I want a good answer when I reply to these people, and I reply to everybody whom I speak with. So I want to be able to say, well, yes, this went through, and I know this isn't what you're looking for, but these are the things also that are going to be bringing our families downtown other than the trails.
Well, I think if you go look at the master plan that was adopted for the downtown, it sets up downtown Springdale to be a family-friendly area. I mean, we've all talked about that. Everything that we do has been going to the implementation of that plan. And part of it has to be economically viable, too. And that's in the plan. So these kind of things all build together. We're trying to create something for everybody to come downtown and send people to the master plan. I mean, and we had great public input when we went through that process. There was a lot of people involved, a lot of families, a lot of kids involved. And so from my standpoint, I think we've set the basis, and we just continually implement that plan as we started.
Is there a place that I can send them? Is there a website or something that
It's
I
on the
can
city's website under the planning department. You can see the downtown master plan there. And I'd be glad to talk to anybody who wants to talk about what's in that plan and how we're moving forward and what the implementation steps are and how we're moving that forward.
I will refer all of those emails to you, but you are welcome. You are welcome to send me a link.
I did walk into that and
Yeah,
that's
you
where it,
did.
didn't I? Yeah.
Let me just say, for those who are really concerned about this, and I received a lot of nice emails from folks, I think the fears are a little, I think it's just not a good, they don't maybe have a good picture of what this allows and what it doesn't. As far as family friendly, I think nothing about bringing my grandkids downtown. And if I meet somebody walking down the street, Emma Avenue with a Yeti, I have no idea what's in their cup right now. And so I think let's try it for 6 months, and I think I hope that we'll find that it's been a benefit and not a detriment to anyone.
I think we had a motion and a second, but then we had an amendment that was taken up and passed. So I'd feel more comfortable if we had another motion at this point.
So I'll make a motion that we pass this ordinance with those amendments as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as amended. Any other comments or questions? Anyone? Nope. Okay. Denise?
Overton,
No.
Reed,
No.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans. No. Powell,
Yes.
Jaycox,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Carries 5-3. There is an emergency clause.
I'll move the emergency clause pass.
Second.
Reed,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans, Powell,
Yes.
Jaycox,
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Overton?
Yes.
Emergency clause carries 8-0. I want to say one other thing for the record about this. We also will, as the statute requires, we'll be notifying the Alcoholic Beverage Control Division of the fact that we passed this ordinance, and we'll do that within 10 days.
All right, thank you. Thank you all who came. You can stay for the rest of the meeting if you want. I'm sure it'll be interesting as Kent waves goodbye. So, anyway, y'all got businesses to run, right? All right. Item 12, Finance Committee Chairman Jeff Watson. Jeff?
Finance Committee forwarded two resolutions to the council. First resolution has, title reads, a resolution authorizing the execution of solar power service agreement with Today's Power, Inc. That resolution was forwarded to council with recommendation for approval.
Move the resolution pass.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve this. Colby, just for the folks watching that may not know about this, before we vote, at least give us a 10,000-foot view here of what we're talking about.
Sure, Mayor. In 2019, the Arkansas legislature passed Act 464, which is what is making solar basically affordable to us today. It's going to eliminate some of the upfront costs that normally we would have. It would take years to pay that initial cost back in energy savings. And we have Today's Power with us tonight, along with Ozarks Electric, and they're going to be working together on this. Currently, we purchase our electricity from Ozarks Electric for a little over 10 cents a kilowatt and a kilowatt hour. And what will happen through this is they're going to partner with Today's Power, and they're going to provide us solar energy at no upfront cost to us. When we use solar power, the price goes down to about 5.5 cents a kilowatt hour. Whenever we run out of solar power, we revert back to exactly where we were with Ozarks Electric and pay their rate that we're paying now anyway. There is benefit to Ozarks, and there's tax benefits for Today's Solar, and there's a savings benefit to us as a city. So this is the first time it's been affordable for us to choose this option, so we're bringing it forward tonight.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments, questions? Okay, Denise?
Lawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Evans? Powell?
Yes.
Jaycox?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Overton? Yes. Reed?
Yes.
Carries 8-0.
All right, thank you.
The second item that came from the Finance Committee had to do with accepting a charitable donation from the Tyson Family Foundation for purposes of purchasing property located at 307 North Main. The title to that resolution is a resolution authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to enter into a charitable donation agreement and authorizing the purchase of property located at 307 North Main Street, Springdale, Arkansas. The Finance Committee forwarded that resolution with recommendation for approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Any other comments or questions? We certainly, as always, appreciate the Tyson Family Foundation and their support.
We'll recognize Jordan Garner, representative of the Tyson Family Foundation here tonight.
Thanks for being here, Jordan. Please pass along our thanks. I'm speaking as though this is passed, and I'm pretty confident it will. All right, good deal. Any more questions for Alan? All right, Denise.
Evans? Powell?
Yes.
Jaycox?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Overton?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Lawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Carries 8-0.
Thank you.
Great. All right, thank you. Item 13, Health and Sanitation Committee, Chairman Amelia Williams. Amelia?
Yes, we have a resolution authorizing a negotiated service agreement between Springdale Animal Services and Best Friends Animal Society. This was forwarded to council with no recommendation. And I know Courtney's here. She spoke on it a little bit last week, and these are the the stainless steel cages, is that correct? That you would like to trade for services?
Yes, and also, if I can't eloquently answer any of your questions, I do have Lauren Klingenpeel with Best Friends Animal Society. She is the Cat Life Saving Center's lead, so we'll be actually the one distributing these whenever it's all said and done.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to move the resolution pass, but I have a question.
Sure.
No, well, but. this is
During discussion, you want to?
Procedurally,
Okay.
we have to make a motion, or
And-
motion.
We've got a motion
I'll second that.
and a
Thank you,
second.
Lydia.
Okay.
Now, the question, Courtney, is how are you all going to manage the services rendered for the dollars that that are invested in these cages?
Right. So first of all, we will be able to track with our sheltering software which animals were actually transferred to Best Friends Animal Society. With our sheltering software, it has, age, sex, all the information pertinent to that animal, and notes for what may be medically going on with them. So we'll know, according to the appendix, which animals are ready to be adopted and which animals are going to need more care. Once they are transferred to Best Friends Animal Society, obviously they will have their own sheltering software that will track the dollar amount that was invested in each animal.
That was my question.
Any other questions or comments? Anyone in the audience or on the phone? All right, Denise?
Powell,
Yes.
Jaycox?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Overton? No. Reed?
No.
Lawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Evans?
Carries 6-2.
Thank you, Courtney.
Next, on item 14, we have an ordinance authorizing the city clerk to file a cleanup lien for the removal of overgrown bush and debris on property located at 898 Tamarack.
Thank you.
Move the
Within the
ordinance
city of
pass.
Spring Dark.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any other comment or questions? We have anyone that needs to address this issue from the public? All right, Denise?
Jaycox?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Overton? Yes. Reed?
Yes.
Lawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Evans? Powell?
Yes.
Has
Move the
emergency.
emergency clause pass.
Second.
Williams?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Overton? Yes. Reed?
Yes.
Lawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Evans? Powell?
Yes.
Jaycox?
Yes.
Both the ordinance emergency clause carry 8-0.
All right, thank you. Do we have any comments from city council?
I got one, Miss Mayor. I lost a cousin this last week, and I got a lot of condolences from everybody in the city, and I want to thank them all for it.
Well, thank you, Jim. Sorry for your loss. City attorney?
No, sir.
Nothing from me. I
Second.
think that's a motion to adjourn and a second. We are adjourned. Thank you.